Zion Clark was born without legs due to caudal regression syndrome. Zion is an elite athlete, a Guinness World Record holder as the fastest man on two hands, a Division I college wrestler, an MMA fighter, and globally recognized motivational speaker. He is the subject of the Netflix documentary Zion and is known for his mantra, no excuses.
Yeah.
All right. I am so excited about our time today, and thank you for agreeing to join us.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for so many reasons. Obviously, because of all of your accomplishments and your achievements, and I want to hear more about that. We want to talk about that, but also because of your beginnings, of how you started out in life, and so we'll talk about that. And I love your name. I've been dying to say this to you. From the moment I heard your name, I started singing. You know how many songs I know with Zion in it?
Oh, yeah.
And so I came prepared to sing to you, but we'll see how that all works out.
All right.
And you have a ukulele next to you.
I haven't been able to stop touching it, so.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And I understand you're also a musician, and you'll talk about that. So much for us to talk about.
Absolutely.
So where to start? Why don't we start at the beginning? Why don't you talk a little bit about who Zion is?
So I'm Zion Clark, but I came from a really rough beginning. You know, by the time I was born, my mother was in jail and my dad is non-existent, and so I was given up immediately at birth. And so from there, I went in the foster care system for about the next 17 years. I had to deal with living in the streets, being in and out of being homeless, all the way up until I was about 16 when I finally got a solid home.
Wow.
And then I didn't get adopted until I was 17, almost 18. Wow. But during that time, I had to really just grow up by myself and figure out how to make money. And I was in and out of jail a bit and had to just kind of see what I could do to survive. You know, survival of the fittest pretty much is what it's like where I'm from. So
it feels like a whole life before all the life I just read about.
I have about 16 years of crap I could talk about before all the last 10 years of success I've had. So
let's talk a little bit about that, because I think, you know, as your mantra says, no excuses. I think you came to that mantra as a result of your earlier life experiences, right? So let's go back a bit and talk about your upbringing. You're originally from?
I grew up in Canton and Massillon, Ohio.
Okay.
So I don't know, you know, Canton is like home of the NFL Hall of Fame, and Massillon, Ohio, we're like the birthplace of American football. So it's like, and you would think that, it's an amazing city. Aside from that, not really. So
okay, and so you said that when you were born, you were kind of given up right away.
I was getting up right away. When I was conceived, my birth mother was in prison at the time. Okay. So she was in Columbus State Penitentiary. And when I was born, they gave her an option to get rehabilitated so she could take care of me, and she said no. So with that being said, I was thrown right into the foster care system right immediately.
Did you ever have any knowledge of your mother? Like, had you ever met her?
Yeah, unintentionally I have, and I didn't say it was the greatest experience.
Okay.
Given that I met her once I started getting famous already, so I was just getting asked for stuff, and so I just kind of kept it. And I have my own mother, like to say that Kimberly Clark Hawkins. That's why I had the last name Clark. That's my mom. That other lady, she birthed me, but that ain't my mother. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Makes a lot of sense. And we're gonna get to Kimberly Clark because we have that in common. I'll tell you about that commonality in a minute. But and so you ended up in the foster care system, and how much? So before you met Kimberly, how long were how many homes, and talk about that experience a little bit.
I went through about 9 to 10 different homes or so.
Wow. Yeah.
From the time I was born. I was labeled as like a problem child, and because I didn't have no guidance, and then I would be in a foster home, but then they would push me out, and then I get locked out of the house for weeks at a time. And so that's how I ended up on the streets. And then next thing you know, I ended up working with these gangs which we would think that, oh yeah, that's a bad thing, but those are the same dudes that gave me food, gave me water, let me sleep in their house, showed me how to count numbers, showed me how to like be myself, and just show me how to be tough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense.
And then once I get back to the house, I'm labeled as a problem child. And next thing you know, I go to school, come back, my bags are packed, and I'm on to the next spot. And then just because I'm labeled as a problem child, the second I get to the next spot, I'm already getting treated like crap on day one. And so like everywhere I went, I just got to the point where I just was expected just no one to care. And so after a while, I just didn't really care about nothing. And by the way, I'm a wrestler. I've been wrestling since I was 5 years old. So during this time, I'm still finding my way to school every single day just so I can go wrestle.
Yeah. And Zion, that is around the behavioral stuff that laid out. Can you talk a little bit about, you're differently abled? Can you talk, and
I like
so
how you put
folks
that, by the
can't
way.
see that. Yeah. Can you talk about that? What, so I mentioned caudal regression syndrome, but can you explain what that is and
for
how it impacts you?
caudal regression syndrome, it's like it can be a multitude of anything. It's like you could have both legs and have caudal regression syndrome and be missing have virtually nothing wrong with you except for maybe half a centimeter of your spine missing, and you still got everything working for you. But in my case, it's more severe. I was missing like 1/4 of my spine missing, and on top of that, I was born without legs due to malnourishment and not taking care of your body.
Okay. So it's not a genetic.
It's not a genetic thing.
Oh,
It's sometimes it's a random occurrence. Sometimes it's drug induced.
Wow.
Sometimes it's just you draw the shortest stick out of the pile. So you know what I mean?
So you were born without legs.
Yes,
which
ma'am.
I imagine for foster parents was a concern. Apparently not for you. You found your way, made your way. But how did that impact the care that you received? I imagine like there were doctor's appointments and different things you had to keep up with.
Earlier stages in life, I had to have surgery to like keep my spine together, and I was like, I wasn't able to sit up by myself. Don't get me wrong, I've always been a really strong kid, but there's a time in my life where I had to wear a brace, so like my spine would heal all the way up, and so I could sit up straight, like I am now. Right. And they didn't expect me to be able to walk or do wrestle or do anything. It was more like, there's like, you just got to take care of this kid. And usually like people like me that come out like me. If I was born earlier than 1997, I probably wouldn't have made it. If you want to be real about where our medical technology was compared to what it is now. And so with that being said, when it came to the level of caretaking I didn't have to have no nurses or like in-home care, nothing like that. It was more so that these foster families, they just had to deal with a little bit of extra stuff, and I had a wheelchair and stuff for a while. But here's the funny part. In Ohio, you get the foster agencies pay to have extra care taking care of the kids like this. Those families were collecting the money and not putting it towards me.
Yeah,
I was going to school in rags and crap and with smelly clothes, and on top of that, I wasn't getting enough food, enough water. Say that the whole family had pizza, I had to eat like cereal and water. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was my reality.
Yeah.
And it was more so they didn't care about it. They were collecting a little bit extra money to their bankroll every month. And I never saw a dime on that. Not that I was a kid, I needed it, but it's more as like, if you have it, take care of the kid as you should, you know?
Yeah, you know, Zion, you made me remember when that change came about, because you're absolutely right that prior to a certain time, children who were born with either some medical issue or had a physical issue, you know, I don't use the word disability. I like differently able.
Absolutely, me too.
But who were somehow, different, ended up in some kind of institution.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And so the move to put children into foster homes or to more quote unquote normal family settings, quote unquote, also afforded those families with extra income to be able to pay for those special accommodations that kids may have needed. And so you're absolutely right. What should have been a great or a better experience for you anyway, certainly didn't. It wasn't that. So enter Kimberly Clark Hawkins. Is that her full name?
Yes, ma'am. So that's Mama. And so I was taken into her home. Her home, the foster care agency had hit her up, and I was in the process of getting kicked out of the foster care agency. At 16 years old, not a single family in the state of Ohio wanted to take care of me, because at this point I had a juvenile record. At this point, I had gotten into a fight at every single home I've been at. Even the home before her is like, I had gotten attacked, I got stabbed, and I launched chairs through windows and in the ceilings, and it was a whole just jumbled mess, you know? And it was a thing. It was just like, they had said that I was like just the worst child I could possibly. They pretty much told her, like, Kimberly, like, look, Like he has nowhere else to go. If he has nowhere else to go, like he's 16, about to be 17. He's gonna have to be put on the street on bike by himself, and we don't want to deal with him no more. Pretty much, that's essentially what they said.
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't care less because, like, I'm gonna be real. I be living at my homie's trap house. I'm gonna be on the most realest note. That's where I was about to go. And I told my boys, I was like, listen, I might not have anywhere to go. I might have to live with you, bro. And my boy Jeff and EG, shout out to those homies. Those are my best friends. They were like, hey, bro, if you need to, come with us.
Ready to hold you down.
Yeah. And they still hold me down to this very day. You know, and keep me in check too. So when that came around, my mom, she was only taking in girls. She was only licensed to foster girls. And they said that, like, hey, would you want to do this? And so, unbeknownst to me, one of my band concerts, it wasn't a band concert, it was a jazz orchestra concert. So I used to be the drummer for the jazz orchestra back in high school. Like I said, I've been a musician like my entire life. No matter where I went, even if I didn't have a drum set, I had a pair of drumsticks. You know what I mean? If I didn't have a keyboard, I would play the one at school. You know what I mean? So I just she came to one of my concerts where I had my own little solo and stuff like that, rocking on the stage for the school and stuff like that. And I didn't even know she was there. And I mean, when I'm at school, nobody knows that I'm going through this because I don't open my mouth about nothing.
Right.
You know, and so
It's a whole other life.
Yeah. Like in school, I'm Zion. I got my friends. I'm getting detention. I'm getting suspended. But unbeknownst to you, I get suspended. I'm just outside. I'm still enjoying myself. So I don't had any idea this was happening. My mom came to see me. And then 2 days later, I woke up to like all my bags packed, sitting outside. And the caseworker pulled up. And I was like, all right, where am I going? She said, I don't know. And so I just like, well, all right then. And then next thing you know, she took me. She's like, you're going to go to a temporary home. Her name's Kimberly Hawkins. And you'll see how you do. She has 3 girls. That's just how it goes.
That's what you said, yeah.
So, and at the time I'm 16, I'm not stupid no more. I'm not a little kid no more. You know, like, 16, but at that point, I've seen so much. I've been so many places. I've experienced so much. I've been beat up so many times that it was like, whatever you throw at me, I'm going to take it. So my mom brought me in, and a year and a half went by or so. And at first, I'm going to be real, I ran away from home 3 times, cussed out the police like 10 times.
While you were
with Kimberly. But like, here's the thing: my mom is a God-fearing woman. You talk to my grandfather; she used to be a hood rat. I don't be real. Hey, that's okay to say. She'll admit to it. You know what I mean? So she understood me more than anybody else did. With that being said, she understood how I just didn't care about nothing. She understood why I had such a nasty attitude, didn't care about what happened, and like, I used to have a bad mouth on me. I mean, I still kind of do now, but I'm a pro fighter. I talk crap on TMZ and do all that fun stuff. But it's more like I'm more controlled. I'm more self-centered. I'm more self-controlled now. My mom, what she did for me, she let me go through my phase, but then instead of like beating me or like having someone come beat me up or something like that, like these other families did, she would sit me down, let me get off my piece, and she'd be, now it's time for you to be quiet. Now you're going to sit here and listen to what I got to say. And she's like, if you don't want to listen to what I got to say, we can find somewhere else for you to go, or you can listen to this life I'm trying to speak into you.
All I got to do,
yeah,
so
yeah.
why not?
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
She sat there and she would speak life into me and like help me realize that there were people that actually gave a damn. Even though it took 16, 17 years for that to happen, they were actually people that cared. My sisters that cared, my uncles, my grandparents. Like, they all, like, it wasn't just my mom, but everybody in our whole family came together because they know that I needed a solid stability. Because the thing is, once you have a stable home life, everything else, it makes it easier to focus on the things you love to focus on. Like, I never was the best wrestler. I never was the best musician. I was all right, you know what I'm saying? As a drummer, I was always been phenomenal, but it was
if you say so yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Like, I became the head drummer at a church by the time I was 7 years old. You know what I mean? Like, it took the dude's spot that was like 20 years older than me. Yeah. And like, that's no flex, but it's showing like the God-gifted skills that I had. Yeah. And so with my mom, they all came together, and I was like, you know what's crazy? I went from almost failing out of high school to like passing on the top of my class. I went from with them as a solid family background. I went from being one of the worst wrestlers to getting a scholarship to go wrestle. On top of that, with them being there, like I went from being a disrespectful man and somebody nobody wanted to be around, and now I have the whole city following me.
Yeah.
And that's because of my mom and the rest of my family, not because of what I did, but because of what they did for me.
For you. Zion, let me add, so there's two things I want to, first of all, I wish your mother was here. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
So we're talking about her, and I really, really wish she was here and part of this conversation with us. One of the things that I find interesting in what you shared is that you had gone from one home to, you said 9 homes.
Yeah.
9 homes before you ended up with Kimberly. If you
Yes.
calling her by first name, with Kimberly, but you had a group of folk, and listen, I know that life, I understand that life,
Yeah.
who took care of you. And listen, you had your own community. You didn't have to keep going from home to home to home, but you did.
Right, well, it's not necessarily my choice. You know, as a minor, you're practically the state's property, especially in a foster care. You're practically like their property.
Yeah, I mean, it's Zion, it's true, but you know, I've been doing this a long time, and one thing I do know is that we can be lost and we can be found.
Yeah.
We can be found if we want to be found,
Yeah.
and be lost for as long as we want to be lost.
I understand that.
Straight talk.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's
so
real
but
stuff.
you chose to be found each time. Was there something in you that was hopeful or hoping or looking for what you actually eventually did find in Kimberly, but
Yeah.
and her family and her household? But was there something there that kept wanting things to be different and hoping for things to be
If
different?
I'm gonna be real, no.
Yeah. Okay.
By the time my mom found me, I didn't care. That's why I was telling my homies, like, even when I was with her, I would disappear for 4 or 5 days. Like I said, I run away from home, and I would be at my homie spot because those were the only people I actually trusted.
But why didn't you just stay with them after a certain point?
Because they weren't in the position to take care of me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, we all come from the hood. We all come from the struggle. With the streets that I grew up on with them, some of the most dangerous streets in Ohio. Like, I used to have a bunch of friends. A lot of them are 6 feet under and aren't here no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we were living. And that's what I do every day. All the homies I got left, I hope they see that. I hope they don't go through the same thing. You know what I mean? And so, like, yeah, they were there for me. And I would be able to sleep on the couch or sleep on my homie's floor, and his mom would make me food. But at the same time, that's still their family.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I just never was really hopeful. But, like, say if I was, like, starving, it's wintertime, they let me stay at their house. I'm not going to freeze to death outside. Because I have been in those positions where I was thrown outside in the middle of the winter. I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
We get hit from everything from the ocean right here and Lake Erie. We get 2 storm fronts every year.
I lived in the Midwest.
So you get that, yeah. So like it's negative 10 degrees outside, and I'm locked out of my house because somebody's mad at me. And I'm 14 years old. I'm 13 years old. I don't know where to go. My homie, his mom picks me up in a car, or I walk all the way across the city. My homegirl Kelsey's. And her mom was almost trying to adopt me, but they couldn't due to some other things that they had going on.
Okay.
It's like I'm trying to think of the word, the situation that I was in and the circumstances that everybody else was dealing with in a low income city that we were in, it doesn't make it the best.
Right.
And like I said, but this brings me back to, like I said, the foster care agencies, they funded the families with money to take care of me, but they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And like at that point, I just didn't care. Like if you gave me a meal and let me sleep for the night, I'll figure out where I want to go tomorrow. Like, and that's where my mind was.
When did it change for you in Kimberly's family? When did you? So you say that you did what you did. You were who you were. You showed up the way you've been showing up, and she didn't put you out. She didn't. She was consistent. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't want to. But she was stable.
Yeah.
But that didn't mean that you automatically bought into it. When did it change for you? When did it flip?
It took me about a year to change into it. And if I talk to my grandpa, my mom threw a brick in the dryer when she was young. So I'd rather tear down some barrels and throw a brick in the dryer and blow up the drying machine. You know what I mean? That's what. So I can't be hot that bad. So my mom understood. So it's just like it took me a while, and like. Even after I started getting good and started doing better, like your friends are who your friends are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like my uncle, my mom's brothers and stuff like that. They some hood. I call they some hood old heads.
Yeah.
Like they did what they did. They been around the block. They been around the country. They taught me a thing or two. They just taught me how to move more like a man. And me, I wasn't wanting to crash out, but I was so past the point of taking disrespect that it didn't care who you was, who was talking to me. You could be the president, and I would not care. You know what I mean? And it was just more a fact that once I started feeling more comfortable and safe in there, I would open up more. I started focusing more at school. I wouldn't skip school because sometimes I get off the bus and like walk right back to the hood. You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to be at school, and I would come back for wrestling practice. Like, and that's how it was because like I love wrestling. I didn't like school because on top of everything else, I was getting bullied at school. And I was getting suspended because, like, I would punch somebody in the head so hard that their head would bounce out the locker and there'd be a dent the size of their head in the locker. And then I get suspended. And, like, that's how that, like, I was just crashing out all the time. But it was over respect.
And did that continue? It did not continue, but obviously it continued, but did you see a change in that
I felt myself starting to get more control of my emotions. And even my senior year of high school, after I'd gotten adopted and my last name got changed, I got suspended one last time. And I'll be real. But this time, my mom was like, all right, yeah, you suspended, but I would have done the same thing. Because dude spit at me and like got spit right here in my shirt. So I jumped up on the desk and I knocked him out. And then the teacher was like, you got to go to, before she even said go to the office, I was already walking out the door to the office. And the principal was like, I'm going to call my mom. I said, my mom's on the phone right here. You feel me? And because it's like I said, respect goes a far way. I don't care who you are. If you spit, that's disgusting. You feel me?
I do.
So I crashed out, but that was one of the last times I ever crashed out like that. And after that, I was like really looking. I was starting to get better at wrestling. I was starting to get better in all these things. So I was like, I can't crash out like that no more. I got suspended right before homecoming, and I had to beg the principal to let me go because I had a date from another school. Beautiful woman. I still talk to this day. But I'm real with you. But like I was starting to level up in my life. And I still was making those mistakes, but you got to trip and fall and make mistakes and still progress. Nobody comes out perfect.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So with all that, I was starting to get better and better. And after that last school suspension, I started just being happy. And then next thing you know, my senior year of wrestling came around, and I had tuned in at such a crazy level. I went 20 matches before I lost.
I want to get into that and to say that I in coming here today had to tell my 13-year-old grandson that no, he was not coming to meet you. He totally knew who you were, and I told him, I said, well, I'll see if he'll give me an autograph. So we gotta have a conversation.
I got little dude. I got you for sure.
But no, he was going to school. He was not going to come and be part of this. You got a total fan,
absolutely,
in Darius Powell. So I just want you to know that. And my son. Also, my middle son did mixed martial arts.
Nice.
And, got a few trophies and whatever. And, so he also was very interested. So I can tell you that in the Watson family,
yes, ma'am,
you reign really, really supreme. You reign well. Before we get into that, I want to just say that, first of all, thank you so much for being candid and being transparent in your story and sharing your story and your life experiences with us. It is so much about what you shared that I can understand and identify with. So much of what you shared. And having been in the foster care system for decades that I've been doing this, I wish I could say, really, Zion? Really, that happened
No,
to
but
you?
you get it. But you get it though.
But I can't say that because I know what you're saying is true.
It's exactly how it is.
I know that that is unfortunately, horribly part of the story. Part of the story that a system that was designed to be able to make sure that children are cared for and are safe. We have used the word protected. I struggle with that word, so I don't, because I don't know that children need to be protected all the time, but all children need to be kept safe, right?
Absolutely.
Need to be safe, and the system is not delivered. It's not delivered wholesale on that, and so that is the goal of Graham. That is our goal right now, is to really make sure that children are supported, families are supported. long before systems have to get involved. Zion, I wish I could say that, the story that you just shared is like, wow, that happened. I can't believe that happened. But I absolutely know that it happened.
And like, I'm
I
not the only
absolutely
kid
know.
that's probably gone
Oh
through
no,
that
I
same
know
thing.
you're not, and I know you're not. I, for many years, worked with youth in residential settings and in juvenile justice settings, and the story you told, I've heard it over and over.
And like you
over
look like a lot of the kids that have a juvenile record, if they don't get the right help, like me, I was blessed with my opportunity that I had.
Yeah.
But a lot of these kids, I think it's like there's a majority % of foster care kids that if they don't get adopted and they have a record, they probably end up in jail, on drugs, or dead.
That's right.
And that's the crazy part about it to me.
I want to go what you just said. If they don't get the help that they need, right? And so at Graham, we have this phrase, helpful help. And it really is the result of many, again, a number of us who've worked together for many years and have heard stories like you just shared, have heard parents who've told stories, and even staff, even myself. I've got stories, in situations that have happened that I wished we could have done it differently or done it better, but we didn't know what to do or didn't have what we needed to be able to do it. And so, at Graham, we've coined this phrase, helpful help. And behind that is that help must be helpful.
Absolutely.
Help that doesn't help is not helpful.
Yeah, like I could say I could say I'm gonna help you do something,
Right.
but like if the help isn't beneficial, did I really help though?
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I might be able to check the box, or I might be able to say, well, we did this, this, and this. Yeah, but it didn't accomplish or get us to the solution or get us to the place
Yep.
that we really needed to get to. And so it is helpful help is it's at the core of everything that we did. And when you tell the story of Kimberly and her family, that's what it sounds like.
That's what real help is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real help is patience and time.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love that. Patience and time. Yep, absolutely. And listening, right?
Cause like I would say my piece, and like my mom wanted to know, she always wanted to know, like, what do you think about this? And I'd be like, before I got adopted, I called Miss Kym. I'm like, Miss Kym, this is how I feel, and she would understand.
Miss Kym, and then say it's.
I know. And she would be like, understand, but she'd be like, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's how it went.
Yeah.
And like, after a while, like, she just like understood how I thought and what I felt.
Yeah.
You know, cause like my mom did for me what no therapist could ever done for me ever.
Wow. So so while she wasn't clinical, her help and her support was therapeutic.
Take somebody that's gone through one of the same things that I've gone through or been in the streets like I've been through. It takes somebody that's lived the same thing to understand the same thing. You can't take an Ivy League person that grew up in a blue collar neighborhood and like have a black kid like me that's grew up gangbanging and expect them to understand what we're going through, understand why we do the things we do, and expect us to turn out how they did. You know what I mean? And like that's how I see it, at least.
Okay, well, then you're entitled to your opinion. I don't know if I.
But no, and I'm not saying that, but I'm saying just like, because I've been in those situations where I've been with a family that they don't even know what it's like they don't know what it's like on the other side of the grass.
Yeah.
And then they get a kid like me where I'm walking around like I'm listening to Lil Wayne or something, and I get told that's the devil's music, or this is that, or this is bad, or this is bad, or you can't read Harry Potter because it worships the devil, or all this and that. And I can't. It was just crazy to me. But then I go to a family that has a background of being in the streets, has a background of making mistakes, but yet you see how tight knit they are as a family,
Right.
regardless of that.
Right.
That for certain kids that might be better for them.
Yeah. But the other thing that your mother did, which was different than I heard you describe, actually she did it, and your boys did it too, which is listening.
Yeah.
Listening, like not just listening for the sake, okay, he said it, he got it out, now let's move on.
Yeah.
But really listening with an interest in wanting to understand.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe help me with the problem.
And help, exactly. That the listening that can lead to get you the help you need, but also lead to change. So, Graham, we love these sayings. And so we have this other saying, radical listening leads to radical change.
Yeah.
So the change you want to see only it comes first by really understanding what needs to be changed.
Yeah, and not to take it from I know I mentioned
Yeah.
Harry Potter, but I read all the Harry Potter books, watched all the movies, and one thing that's always repeated over and over is like help is always given at Hogwarts to those who ask.
Ask, yeah.
You feel me? And like that's a statement that's actually for real.
Yeah.
And to all you Harry Potter nerds, you should read the books. But
Yeah.
it's because like no, there's a lot of life lessons in books like that. It's more so like when you ask for help. And when you're in a place where they will actually have the actual resources that have the ability to help you, and you're willing enough to open, that's where you get the help. Because help and growth starts with you wanting it.
Yeah. As a result of all of that, did you see a difference in what you wanted for yourself in your life?
I always wanted to be a wrestler and a musician, and that never changed from day one. And that's all I really cared about. It's all I really care about now. And it's for me. It was just what family was gonna help me achieve that, or who was gonna believe in what I wanted. And just so happened to be, we got a lot of musicians in my family.
Yeah.
My cousin's out here in New York City right now. He's a musician. You know what I mean? And like that's what my family is, and so that's also another factor of them that just brought me in even closer. Like sitting there on the drum set, my mom's in the church choir, and we got the whole church up in an uproar, and it gave a good feeling.
Yeah,
you know, it's like an anointing that I had to really make music, and then that opened up the door for everything else.
Where did this love of music come from? We've been talking about, we've been dancing around it a little bit because you and I share that a passion for music, and you play a number of instruments. What are the instruments you play?
I play drums, piano, guitar, 6-string guitar, 6-string bass, 12-string guitar, play trumpet. Play tuba, saxophone, and now the ukulele, so 10.
And now ukulele.
Yeah.
And are you self-taught?
I'm self-taught in everything except for the trumpet. I took lessons.
Where does this passion for music come from? Do you know?
When I was really little, so my first foster home wasn't too bad. The people there besides the parents were bad, but her name was Sandy Smucker. She gifted me my first little drum, like little drum set when I was like 3 years old. And right then and there, I just loved music. And then she gifted me a little keyboard. And for some reason, I would hear the radio, and I still remember like it happening. I would hear the radio, right? And I would press the button on the keyboard until I found the bass note that matched what I heard. And then about 20 minutes later, I'd figure out how to play the entire song. I don't know what it was, but as a kid, before I even learned how to read very well or write very well or talk very well, I could play music like I've been doing it in a whole past life before.
Wow. That's fabulous. I also share that same love of music, and I was sharing earlier that everything for me becomes songs. People talk to me, and I'm hearing songs.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bizarre, but that's the way
that
my brain remembers things,
Yeah.
and it is my passion. So I share that with you. Graham's mission, among the work that we do, our ultimate mission is to support folks so that, now just get to the end of it, that they are able to live a joyful, healthy, and successful life. And that sounds kind of like, pie in the sky. But for a lot of the families and the communities that we work in, partner with, that seems elusive, right? That seems like it's way out there and not necessarily possible to be joyful in your life and to be successful, and health in all kinds of ways. Mental health, we were talking about mental health a little bit earlier. Mental health and physical health, is also just seems something that it's out there. Do you feel that you're living your joyful, successful, healthy life right now?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'm still young, so like I know that.
More life to live, right?
Yeah, so like there's still more room to grow. There's still more room to level up. There's still more room to be a better self. But when it comes to being joyful and happy and feeling at peace, 90% of the time I say I am at peace. Even if I have absolutely nothing, I grew up with nothing. So if I have nothing and I still have good people around me, I'm happy. I can be joyful, knowing that I've got friends, I've got family that if I don't feel joyful, I can call my sister right now and be like, you want to talk? And she'll make me laugh. And next thing you know, my mood just completely changes. Now I'm still in a joyful mood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could pray, still be in a joyful mood. I wake up, nobody knows this, but I wake up every morning at 4 a.m, go stand outside before the sun come up, and I pray for about 30 minutes. And then I get back to normal life and start my day. And so and it keeps my head up, keeps my mental straight. I'm one of the voice. I'm in the men's mental health magazine. A couple years ago, I have about a 3-page article on myself, where I've talked about how you said it. You was like how to be physically healthy and mentally strong. Those coincide with each other. You know, the more you work out, the more you take care of yourself, the more endorphins in your brain get released. And the more endorphins, people find multiple ways to do that. The most natural way to do that is being healthy. Yeah. The healthier you are, the happier you most likely are. Yeah. And so for me, as I got better in the sport of wrestling and stuff like that, as I became a pro athlete, I'm telling you right now, it's hard to do what I do. Like I fought on UFC pages. I fought and wrestled against some of the best athletes in the world. Yeah. And I've won and lost against them too. But here's the thing, I'm happy doing it. And there's not many people you can see get punched in the face and my head get knocked this way. And I come back and I smile. And I put my fist up because I'm ready to knock you too. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So but it's a level of joy and happiness that I found in that. And it keeps my mental straight.
Yeah. Wow, so powerful. Zion, you know, I listened to your story of your beginnings. I understand now, you know, all that you've achieved, and you're young. You got a whole lot more yet to keep accomplishing and achieving. What would you say, you know, and in all of this, you described like really being the beneficiary of the love of someone who was helpful to you, someone who did listen to you, someone who wanted the best for you, even perhaps when you couldn't see it for yourself. Yeah. Still kept encouraging you and inspiring you. What would you say to someone who is struggling right now? Someone who is being challenged in some of the same ways?
If you want me to be real honest?
Listen, radical candor.
Okay, so it's gonna get worse. You feel me?
Okay.
But the worse it gets, the tougher you gotta be. And if you hit rock bottom, look, you can't dig any no lower than rock bottom. You know what I'm saying? You can't get lower than that. The only way to go is up. And my mom told me this. She said, once you sick, you can't. The way you're gonna make change for yourself, you gotta be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I think about that every single day. So when I get done with something and I feel sick and tired of something, and I'm really tired of it, I make change. And that's the thing we gotta do. And for the kids that are struggling, you don't know it yet, but soon you will have enough power in your hands to start making that change, and your voice will be heard. Not everybody listens to a kid. Find someone that will listen to you. It might not be a parent, it might be one of your friends. It might be one of your friends' parents. Might be willing to listen to you to hear, so your voice can be heard. I'm not saying that just because your voice is heard, that'll be changed, but knowing that there's somebody to listen might start making your output better and start believing in people again.
Wow, that's good. That is so good. That is so good. Last question. Advice for Graham. I want you to give us some advice. And so Graham is on a mission to upend foster care in the way that it's done now. Yeah. And to really find the alternatives to foster care. Yeah. You know, that we believe that if families are supported long before, you know, systems get involved, that the opportunities for family separation, for some of of what we've seen, the system has done. You know, there's been, and I want to be fair, there's been lots of good work, lots of good things that have happened for folks. But I believe, again, as somebody who's been in this system a long time, that we don't get a pat on our back for doing what we're supposed to do. Yeah. You know.
The pat on your back, though, is knowing that you did do the right thing, you know?
Okay, I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take that from you. I'll take that from you.
Well, no, my mom said this to me. She's like, if you do good for somebody, don't expect a thank you. The thank you is in seeing them grow and becoming a product of what you did. Yes. And hopefully if they grow up right, they will say thank you. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we don't ever do anything in return asking for a reward.
I love your mama.
Yeah.
She's got to come on here with me. I got to get her. She's got to come and sit with me and talk to me. But as we make change, we make change. Graham works to make change in the system and to do better by our families and our communities. Any advice for us that you would have?
Just make it like, for me, you know what I found really good towards the end of my time in the foster care system, that the system did do right at the very end, when my mom started cracking heads. I'm gonna be real with you. And my mom is not one to. She was never one that would just be like, okay, the system said this, so I'm gonna do exactly by the book. And like, no, my mom, like, she didn't see something right. If you see something, say something, you know. And for the families that are part of your guys' organization, when it comes to like let the kids talk, let the parents talk, coincide the stories, and always keep in mind, most kids are innocent up until we turn into teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Because once I turned to a teenager, I was lying out my butt. Let me tell you. But that's just because I didn't trust nobody. Yeah. But as a kid, there were so many things I was telling these foster care agencies that was happening to me. And then the parents be like, nah, he's just making this up. Nah, he's just making this up. Listen to the children. Yeah. The children are always innocent from the jump. It's the rest of the world that corrupts us. The rest of the world that corrupts the population. Every kid is born innocent. Every kid is born pure. But here's the thing. If we let them talk and listen to them talk, if you ask a 7-year-old child how they feel about something, they will tell you straight up whether it hurts your feelings or not.
That's true.
And it still might hurt your feelings.
Very true.
You feel me? Like, this little kid came up to me. I was at a baseball game, and there were some fans. I had about like a couple hundred fans that crowded me for photos. And this kid was like, "Can you do a backflip?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I did one for him, right? But it was kind of a lopsided backflip, and I knew it was. And all the other kids were like, "Yeah." And this little 7-year-old boy was like, "That's not a backflip. That kind of sucked." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I don't want to talk to you no more, but okay then." So I did another one, make sure I did it right.
Right.
But, you know, kids are so honest and pure. We want to listen to them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I wish I would have had more.
Listen.
Yeah.
Radical listening.
Exactly.
That's Zion, I want to thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the time. But we're not done yet, because you're going to pick up that ukulele and we're going to sing you a song, and we can say what it could be. The raindrops is falling on my head.
I don't know really any songs. I just freestyle it.
Listen. All right, well, you can sing any words, any song that comes to your mind. Are you a singer?
Oh, no. Oh, yes, but I don't do that yet.
If I know the words, I'll sing along with you. I won't leave you out there by yourself. And everybody else here can sing along too. You got a song?
No, I'm nervous. No, I don't. I'll play just a freestyle for you guys.
Go ahead.
Freestyle. You know, like just something that's pretty smooth.
Okay.
Oh, I messed up.
That was great. That was beautiful.
It's just I gotta get into the flow. I don't like that.
It sounded like a Spanish guitar, right?
No, it does, right?
Yeah, like Spanish guitar.
Yeah, but it's a ukulele.
Daphne.
I know how you
He picked it up and started playing.
You just said, now you know.
Terrific.
You know what? 2 girlfriends ago, I picked her up. I'm not gonna lie, I got her by freestyle on the piano.
Wow, that was excellent.
Cause I was at a little party, and I was like, everybody's like, I play piano. I was like, and I told this girl, I was like, look, you're really beautiful. And I was like, look, I said, let me play something for you. She's like, you know songs? Like I said, no, I make my own music.
Listen, his ukulele debut. Excellent. That was beautiful. Beautiful. I could totally hear like Spanish guitar. I told you, I have a whole thing going on in my head.
Yeah.
Zion, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I enjoyed this. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hopefully see each other again.
For 220 years, Graham has supported children and families in communities in New York City. We need your help as we continue that vision and that mission. Join our movement.